Hey guys, it's Melissa with the Realtor Family, and welcome to another Weekend Peek-In, where we are giving you a peek into the real estate market. Today we're going to be going over interest rates, home prices, inventory, days on market, and letting you know what that means to you, whether you are a buyer or a seller. So I'm going to try to do it pretty quickly, under 10 minutes, so I don't take up too much of your time here. Also, if you're tuning in live or the replay, if you could comment below what city you are tuning in from, that'd be great. We just like to see kind of where our viewers are located. And if you know of anybody that might be interested in buying or selling, feel free to share this with them or tag them in it so they can get the information as well. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments and I'll try to get to them either during the live or after the live. Okay, so let's see here. First, let's talk about interest rates. So when we look at the average interest rate of February last month, it was about 4.4%, and the month prior was 4.3%, and then about a year ago was 4.5%. So we are seeing a decline in interest rates, which is good. Last year in 2018, what happened is throughout the whole year, interest rates were going up pretty steadily. They got hiked up a few times. They reached about 4.9% even. So now that they're back down to 4.4%, that's really good. Of course, if you're a buyer, you want to see low interest rates. The lower interest rates are, the more home you're going to be able to afford. Now, this is actually really great for sellers as well, because the more buyers that can afford to buy, the more buyers are on the market, and the more people you have that can buy your home. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. Okay, so moving on from interest rates, let's talk about home prices. So for the sake of being able to analyze a market, right, instead of going nationwide or even just the whole state of California, we're going to try to narrow this down a little bit. So for those of you that don't know, I'm partners with my mom. Shout out to her. So we're real estate partners. She still lives in Claremont and I'm here in Riverside. So when I analyze the market, I'm kind of analyzing the area between those two cities. So when I talk about home prices, you're going to want to focus more on the trend, because of course, even just blocks within the same city, home prices are going to vary drastically, right? So pay attention more to the trend of the number rather than the actual number itself. Even if you're outside of that area, the trends, if you're in Southern California, are probably still going to apply to your neighborhood. So if we look at last month in February, home prices averaged about $450,000. And the month before was actually pretty much the exact same. Now, a year ago, home prices were about $430,000. So we're seeing them increase from a year ago. What we saw is the second half of 2018, we saw home prices dip a pretty decent amount. And then at the new year, they popped back up again. And now they're kind of staying level. Well, 2 months is kind of a short time period to determine if we are in a plateau or what's going to happen next. So of course, we're just going to keep an eye on that. I analyze the market every week to keep an eye on that, and we're going to do one of these every month to keep you posted. So the fact that they're not necessarily rising or dropping right now, from what we can see, kind of puts buyers and sellers on an even playing field, right, in terms of price. So it's kind of neither good nor bad. Of course, if you're a buyer, you want to see home prices low, right? And of course, or going down. And if you're a seller, you want to see home prices going up. So we're just gonna have to kind of see how that plays out. Okay, let's move on to days on market. So when I say days on market, what that means is from the date a home gets listed on the MLS to the date of the accepted offer. So if we look at February of 2019, days on market averaged about 37, and the month prior in January was about 34, and then a year ago was about 20. So we're seeing a pretty steady increase. It's almost doubled from a year ago, which is kind of crazy. Now this could be due to numerous factors, interest rates having risen last year, although now we're seeing them drop, prices going up, less buyers being able to afford to buy. Although we are seeing that change a little bit right now, maybe it just hasn't quite caught on yet. What I also will say about days on market is that's highly going to depend on what agent you hire, right? So if the average days on market is 37, a ton of agents are taking a lot longer than 37 days to sell your home. Here at the Realtor Family, our average is 14 days. So it's just going to depend a lot as well on not just the market, what's happening in the market, but what your agent is doing to sell your home and how good the agent is that you hired. So just keep that in mind as well. You don't want to look necessarily like if you sell, it's going to take 37 days to get your home in escrow. It can be a lot shorter. Oh, and one more thing about days on market is with them going up, that's actually pretty good for buyers because the more time you have to look at homes, the less stress you're under, and typically the less competition that means that there is for that home. So that's kind of a benefit for buyers. Now let's move on to inventory. So inventory is going to be the number of homes that are on the market available to purchase at any one time. So last month the inventory in this market that I'm analyzing averaged about 3,600 homes. Last month, or the month prior in January, was about 37 homes, and then a year ago it was over 4,000. So we're seeing inventory decline as well. Now that's been kind of the major problem when you hear people talk about the market and real estate at the moment, is that we're kind of a shortage on inventory. So that's what they mean, a shortage of homes that are available to be bought at any one time. So, and we're seeing it still trend downward. But the interesting thing is we're seeing the amount of homes that are pending, meaning the amount of homes that are in escrow getting ready to close, are going up. So I think what we're having in this market is shortage of inventory, so less sellers wanting to sell their homes, but more buyers wanting to buy. So this is actually the perfect storm if you are considering selling. Because you want as many buyers as possible on the market competing over your home, and then you want as few sellers on the market, right? You don't want to be competing, or you want to be competing against as little homes as possible on the market. So if you're considering selling, it's actually the perfect time. And yeah, so that's where we're at with inventory. Okay, so I just want to kind of wrap it up. Like I said, I'm going to keep these updates pretty short. We are in a seller's market. Like I just said, it's a perfect time if you're wanting to sell due to increased buyers entering the market and a shortage of inventory, so less competition for you. If you are a buyer, though, I wouldn't get discouraged. It's actually really promising and really nice to see interest rates going down, and being at about 4.4% is pretty good. Also, with not seeing home prices continuing to rise, it's actually really promising for buyers as well. So if you are interested in buying, I would recommend reach out to a lender to see how much you can qualify for now with the current interest rates. If you need help with that, reach out to us. We've got some lenders that we really enjoy working with that we can direct you to. But yeah, if you're interested in buying, it's still actually a pretty good time as well in our market here in Southern California. So with all that being said, let's see, we're pretty short here, about 8 minutes, I think. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I'll get to those. I'll keep an eye on that as this video stays up. If you know somebody that might be interested in buying or selling, feel free to share this video with them or tag them in it so they can get this valuable information as well. We hope you found this information valuable. Let us know what city you are coming from so we can see where viewers are at and get more localized to you. Excuse me. So again, I'm Melissa with the Realtor Family, and this was a weekend peeking into the real estate market. Catch us next month. I'll keep you guys posted on when we're going to go live again with another market update. And yeah, I guess that's it. You guys have a great weekend. All right, thanks. See ya.